Subdue them, and make sure Cork doesn't leave.
Sword! These magisters are madmen! Are you alright, elf? I'm a paladin, of course. My, you must have been here a long time if you don't recall what the Divine Order's finest look like.
He pauses a moment to wipe a thick mixture of sweat and blood from his brow, before continuing.
I still can't believe they had the gall to attack me. It's high treason to go after a paladin like that. We're Divine Order. Our superiors will be very interested to hear it. I wouldn't be so certain of that. They've got most folks on the mainland properly fooled. I never would have believed what goes on here until I saw it with my own eyes. But we've stood about talking long enough. And this place is no roadside tavern. It's certain death if we keep lingering. First things first, I need to get the lay of the land inside Fort Joy. I was sent here to make an official report on what exactly goes on here, and I don't intend to run away now. After that, though, and without the Magister's help, there's nowhere to go but the Hollow Marshes. They say they're haunted, but I don't believe in bogeymen. I was once told there's an old harbour on the far side of the island, and where there's a harbour, there may be a boat. I must be off, and so should you. Best of luck to you. You deserve better than this place.
As you near a figure clad in old blackened armor, Sabine takes your hand and gives it a squeeze.
I've a feeling yonder creepy crawly is the lone wolf I've been looking for. You wouldn't mind if I asked him a few pertinent questions, would you? I'll do my very, very best.
Sabine addresses the solitary figure. You hear but whispers and hisses in return. Just when you think a fight is about to break out, Sabile's words seem to sway him into submission. He speaks uncomfortably. She listens, her face hard and pale. His name, you overhear her insist. Roost, he croaks. And with that, the interview's over.
Come, let's go. I have what I came for. I found out who abducted me, who delivered me to the Master. I'm going to find the man who did that, and we're going to get mightily reacquainted.
Loping up behind you, Ifan leans in to whisper in your ear.
Let me do the talking here. This one's expecting me.
The hooded man exudes an aura of restrained menace. As he raises his head to speak to Ifan, the hood falls back, revealing the gleaming bone visage of an undead. They speak in urgent whispers. Suddenly, the undead's bony claw pulls an elaborate crossbow from seeming thin air. It appears to be enveloped in misty shade. He proffers it to Ifan, along with a single rank-smelling arrow. Before you know it, the crossbow and arrow are tucked away in Ifan's backpack, and the conversation ends with a curt nod on both sides. Ifan knocks the crossbow with an arrow. He hoists it up to his shoulder, a satisfied smile brightening his face as he stares down the shadow-swirled stock. Raising an eyebrow, he holds it out for you to try.
Care to fire the first arrow from Shadow's Eye?
The arrow soars long and far, whistling a dusky tune as it flies against the breeze. It hits the target dead on, fletchings quivering with the impact. Ifan whistles a matching tune and gives you an admiring glance as he takes back the crossbow.
Knew you had it in you. A good weapon's one thing, but there's nothing on Riverland like a good companion.
His beard twitches as he fights to hide a laugh, but it barks free anyway.
Good. We'll need a sense of humor to get much further than this. Let's go. We'll be harder to track if we keep in motion.
He spins on one heel and begins to stride onwards, keen eyes scouring the environment for any dangers. He turns to wave you along, eyes glittering in the swampy gloom.
The air out here's a damn sight better than in Fort Joy, eh?
Seeming surprised, Ifan gladly takes the drink from your hands and downs a hefty glug.
Ah, that hit the spot.
He holds the flagon out to you. The alcohol hits you like the void itself. Your head spins and your feet feel unsteady. Suddenly, being stuck in a prison ruled by the despotic order doesn't strike you as the worst way to spend time.
This reminds me of sharing Rotgut with Roost and the boys back at camp. Wish they weren't so far. So tell me, if we weren't stuck here, what would you be doing with your time? Now you're talking. This is it. Right now. This is the life. Relic of flame. That brew went straight to my bladder. If you'll excuse me. The air out here's a damn sight better than in Fort Joy, eh?
Ifan looks at you askance, then doubles up, laughing. He wipes tears from his eyes and stutters to speak, but he can't stop laughing enough to do so.
Oh, she was a fine one. You see there, she writes like a cottage innocent, but the truth is, it was she who stole everything from the Chems. And she wrote that whole book to cover her tracks, so nobody'd look for the missing gold anywhere near her. She never even met Roost, though she paints quite an accurate picture of his, bedroom antics.
And with that, he's laughing uncontrollably again, waving you away with both hands.
Lonely? I wouldn't think so. I went from life in the regiment, to life in the pack, to life on the road with you. I haven't had time to be lonely.
He pauses, reddening slightly as he looks at you curiously.
Unless, wait. What did you mean exactly? Ah, yes. Of course.
Ifan smiles and salutes at you.
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for rest. So they are. My arms are gravestones, many a lost soul's last rest. One day I'll know who they were, the ones on my right arm. And one day, they'll all be dead, the ones on my left. They are the ones I was forced to kill. I don't know why, I can't recall. But I kept their names, and with their names I will honor them. By taking the life of he who directed their demise, the Master. A lizard, but not any lizard. A spectre in the flesh, a man with no name, a darker shade in shadows. If he be a demon, as the frightened claim, I will be a demon hunter. If he be a god, as the cowering claim, I will be a godslayer. Until it is over, I will be nothing but vengeance. A day on the beach I'll be after.
She returns your smile, though you can read the skepticism in her eyes.
A lovely little promise to make. A thorny one to keep. We'll see how bloodied you're willing to get to pluck the one rose lost in a forest of daggers. Still, I do appreciate the sentiment. Those are the breadcrumbs, torn and tossed aside along the long road to the master. They are inconsequential. Candles snuffed out by a brighter flame, if I do say so myself. My, I did get you all worked up, didn't I? Afraid you won't be able to sleep tonight.
She pulls her hand away, quickly and violently, as if bitten by a snake.
No, it's fine. I don't know why I did that. I suppose I'm a bit skittish from time to time. Skittish like a cat that's seen too much unkindness. You see, there's triplets in my mind. The woman I am, the woman I must be, the woman I long to be. Like all sisters, they do tend to be at odds with one another, from time to precious time. To erase the past, I must do just that. Erase it. You can see what I can do. What comes as easily as a morning's yawn or a rush of blood in the presence of beauty. This, you must accept. Thank you. How romantic a concession, to let a woman kill when she so pleases.
One of her eyebrows arcs, like a cat arching its back, ready to scratch.
A touchy subject, I warn you. It didn't exactly feel like a kiss, but the true pain came after, when I lost all of my own volition. I served but the master and none but he. Touchy subject, I did warn you.
Sabine looks at the flask with surprise, but accepts it with a nod and takes a long draught.
My word, warms the heart and everything else besides. Thank you. I needed a bit of good cheer. So, cheers.
And there goes the rest of your bottle.
Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it. Oh, don't tell me you've never heard the stories. The tale of my birth has been a bedtime staple for years. A dinner party favorite. Cute. Very well then, listen closely. One day a red sun rose, turning the desert sands into a blood-colored sea. When my mother, roused from dreams, beheld this crimson dawn, she knew the time had come and promptly gave birth to me. The sun rose to its zenith, but there settled, refused to descend towards the beckoning dusk. Instead, she hung there for 7 days and 7 bright, starless nights. So enamored was she with her little red prince. Indeed, I've been a married man since the day I was born, for they call me the spouse of the sun. She who is all life and beauty, she whose colour I wear not in cloth, but in skin.
He laughs wryly, baring rows of shark-like teeth.
There are those who believe that little legend, you know. I'm not one of them. To tell you the truth, I've no idea why I'm red, but I do fancy I was rather lucky to be born a prince. My heritage made people celebrate my uniqueness. Had I been common born, they might have just drowned me in a well. Why, thank you. You'll find I don't live up to expectations with remarkable frequency. Case in point is that I have a high opinion of myself because of my unparalleled skills and intellect, not because of the bed I was born in, though I won't go so far as to deny absolute wealth has its perks. Absolute power, for instance. No wonder I seek my way back to the throne. More glorious than you could ever imagine. More glorious than I wish to recall here. Ask me again once we escape, and I'll tell you tales that will last us 1,000 nights.
I must say, I was hoping to enjoy a smug advantage over everyone else. Lacking skin may make me a target for mortals, but I am mercifully immune to mosquitoes. However, they are infuriating when they get in one's skull. I can barely hear myself think. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I mean, yes, I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. It would be quite irresponsible. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows what that might have been? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain. But I was not given the chance to find out. Now, I fear I never will. He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them. Well, certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate. But the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the Veil, I brought the issue up with others, the Seven Lords. Beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error, but before they or I could act, I was arrested and, well, my sentence was carried out. Do you know, I never thought to ask. Between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb, what a foolish oversight! If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe. A barrier of pure source. It was amazing. The kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But my king forbade me from further investigation.
The skeleton stands quietly for a moment.
I'm not sure. Centuries in a tomb can warp one's memory. I remember the big things, of course. My library, my home, my king, my family. But the rest, it's all covered in a fog. And the more I see of this world, the thicker that fog seems to get. They came rather low in my life, alas. My wife and daughter always had to compete with my work for my attention. And my work was always stiff competition. They were often neglected. I wonder how many more years they spent neglected before. Well, before whatever happened, happened. Indeed, you cannot. Nothing in this world compares to it. We crafted our homes from stone and crystal, using the power of the universe itself to keep them in place. Your people, on the other hand, seem quite content to sit about in smoky hovels, held together by straw and filth. It's a mercy I don't have a nose. I cannot imagine how you stand it. I was a scholar, researching the secrets of the universe. Had I been allowed to proceed, my people could have ascended to godhood as one. An entire race of deities. With a perfect understanding of the universe, it would have solved all of our problems. Once I would have boasted that it was the best form of government. Indeed, it was the only form of government we knew. Living forever under the rule of a wise king is one thing. But if that king should turn into a despot, if he should reject philosophy and the natural arts for the sake of power, well, I cannot imagine a worse torture.
Out of the frying pan and into You know what? You've heard that one before, so let's try a new one. Shite's all mucked up. Yeah, seems more to the point, doesn't it?
I'd say we should stop to talk, but I'm swamped. Sure thing, Chief. What's up?
She bats her eyelashes coquettishly over black eyes in grey sockets.
Just for you, Chief. Okay. I don't. Look, I know it was bad, okay? I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm sorry. I just want to move on. I'd say we should stop to talk, but I'm swamped. Sure thing, Chief. What's up? You know, wherever the next road leads, I guess. I never was one to sit in one place too long. How about you? You missing home by now? I get you. So, what is it you miss exactly? Well, for what it's worth, I think you're still pretty ace. Ha! Oops, I think I broke her.
She pokes you in the ribs.
You okay, Chief? Did the big mean tart insult your sensibilities? Hey, you okay? Sorry, Chief. Just playing around. I'd say we should stop to talk, but I'm swamped. Sure thing, Chief. What's up?
The hooded man exudes a restrained menace that near matches your own. As he raises his head, the hood falls.
Be not frightened of me, delicate-fleshed one. There's far worse than my bite in this quagmire. Perhaps I can even offer some aid, if you've the coin. Do you desire trinkets from the ancients? For the smallest of costs, I'll tell you. Barely a trifle.
With a horrific rasp of bone scraping against bone, he bows low before you.
Call me Zalaskar. Naught else concerning me is yours to ask. My business is my own, and none of it yours. You look like a one to know already. There's source in you. I can smell it. I can feel it pulsing with every beat of your fragile heart. There's ones like you close by. The Seekers. I came here with them, but Magisters sank their ship. The ones that live still? Cowering in some shrine in the depths of the swamp, twiddling their bleeding thumbs. If you're lucky, maybe you'll find them before something else finds you.
He spits something dark and viscous onto the earth. You notice the little horror wriggling deep into the soil.
If the little Seekers manage to steal the Magister's ship, the Lady Vengeance, maybe I'll find a way on board. Worry not about me. I have my methods. Worry for your own self. Why, the undead, of course. We rise. We rise. There is a stirring. Have you not felt the whisper of the grave upon the winds? The covenant will be fulfilled. Glacial demisht mashtim.
Zalaskar chuckles unpleasantly.
Not for you to know now. Worry not, short-lived one. Your fears are as useful as those of an ant astride a leaf perched atop a tidal wave.
Dead Magisters. I wonder who did this.
Master! Master, wake up! Master, wake up! Bones! Attack Bones! Then Sorcerer! Flash! She ran! Bones gone! Master, sleep! Wake up! Soon! He might! Was dead! Ever? Ever, ever?
The dog is blinded by its muzzle, but it turns its face toward you, waiting for your answer. As she considers your statement, her nostrils start to twitch. She lifts her head and takes a long drag of the air around her.
Sorcerer! You! Oh! Master! Wake up! Never ever, never ever! No! Go! Please, Master!
As you approach the woman, Thane gasps. You turn and see that he's fixated on her.
It's her! The wrinkled human that stole my mask. Please, I must speak with her.
The woman traces glyphs in the air, and you cringe, expecting a barrage of ice and fire. Instead, a bit of smoke sputters forth. She cries to the skies in frustration in a recognizable rail-thin rasp.
My lord, I've loved you. I've obeyed you. What's my sin? How long must I suffer?
She sees Thane approach and punches her fist in his direction. Her face flushes red. It's her, the one that destroyed the ship to Fort Joy. Her eyes flare with recognition. She demands to know who Thane is, what he is. No one should be able to craft something like his mask. Thane dances around her question and reverses it. Who is she? Who is this lord of hers? She does not seem eager to answer him either. The witch opens her mouth to speak, but something happens. Her face droops and her eyes turn black.
Thane, the traitor shall be destroyed.
Her eyes clear, and she turns her head to the heavens once more.
I offer this sacrifice to you. Return me to your side. Make me come between us again.
I'm ready.
Aren't the only ones looking for me.
I must say, I was hoping lacking skill. However, they are infuriating when they get in one's skull. Well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes. Up to a point, certainly. They are frightfully loud, but the selection afterwards is quite good. The faces are often what you might call fixer-uppers, but they're young and quite serviceable, if you get them before the flies do. Poison is preferred, of course. No marks to the face, the subject can be of any age, and death is often quite peaceful. Not for them, of course, but it's significantly more relaxing for me.
Can you feel it, Elf? Tell me what you feel. You understand, then? Ashes and bone litter the island, but where death comes, life rises. The sweetest scents flourish in the deepest tombs. Tell me, do you like roses? In that case, I think you would appreciate the blackest of roses. Look deep in the earth to the southeast, where the revolting seeds the rapturous. A dark figure wanders there. She understands these roses, why they take root. A witch. Allow her to guide you, traveler. Now go, follow the wind.
I spotted something.
You're back. Looking to add some weight to your rucksack?
A skeletal arm reaches upward, grasping at empty air. It lunges at you, violent fingers grasping only air. Now free, the arm thrashes furiously. It doesn't relent until wriggling out of your grasp. The arm hits the sand and goes rigid. Its wrist rotates like a compass needle, a single bony finger pointing toward... what? A severed head sits rotting on a stick. The last vestige of an ear juts from above its too prominent jawline. A fly buzzes about its nose. Its eyes open. It looks at you. When it speaks, it struggles to move its impaled jaw.
I don't know who you are. Hear this. Don't open the chest. Don't open the chest. Whatever you do, don't open the chest.
I swear!
Ha ha ha. Very funny. Tell you what, I'll change my mind. I've had a change of heart. Open the chest. You deserve it.
He gives you a look that says, really? You went with that? He rolls his eyes. His look turns to one of contempt. He grits his teeth in anger. His look now carries pure hate. His eyes dart around, from grass to tree to sky, back to grass. He's pretending you aren't there. The severed head closes its eyes, pretends it's dead. You grin to yourself and turn away.
So, Lady Ho-Ho at again. Right, just right. Get lost, funny worm, and don't open the chest.
Bloodied and sad, a severed head sits on its stick. Its eyes snap open and dart from you to the nearest noxious bulb, and back to you again.
Open the chest there. Go on. You know you want to. Open the chest. There's loot in it. Open the chest. Don't mind that idiot. Open the chest.
He looks to the suspicious bulbs surrounding the chest, then back to you. He knows he's caught out. His lip quivers, wobbles, then he starts crying. The crying goes on for an uncomfortably long time. He recovers his composure, looks down at the earth before him, speaks quietly.
It's just... I want to die. Can't die. Can't kill myself neither. If my mother could see me now, she'd be mortified.
Hope glints in his eye.
Just open the chest. That's all. Open the chest. I'm begging you.
Mischief flashes in his eyes.
What's your lies? Thanks is what I need to say. Open the chest. Open it.
Get lost, funny one.
Get lost, Owl. Get lost. Eyes on right.
You were a genius maze builder. Clear of mind, sharp of wit. You built an invisible staircase, useful to those who may find it.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Burning? Are those pigs on fire? I should neutralize this thing before it does damage. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
The pig is engulfed in flames, but her skin remains unsinged.
No, not funny. Please, I beg you. Help us. Does it matter? I beg you. Help. You aren't sure? How do I know it won't be worse than the torment? The agony. I could...
I need aid.
My, the giant takes notice of...
It's attacking! Evasive maneuvers, Quackers!
Your gaze wanders over the solemn stone face that overlooks the shore. For the briefest of moments, it seems as if its eyes come alive and lock with yours. The eyes, stone grey, turn pale green. They mesmerize, then enchain, then lure you in.
That shrine seems to have brought me here. What is this?
Oh, how pensively. Ask away, Shield. Indeed.
A waif-thin elf peers at you from over an imperious hooked nose. Deep darkness circles both his eyes. Disdain etches his face into a sneer.
Ah, you're here. Good. You know me, do you not? Yes, you know me from within. From a memory of a memory of a memory. For I am Tyr Sandilius, god of the elves, god of you. Tell me, what have you done in order to make it this far? How have you failed? So, you've lied then. Ha! Thus speak the most heinous offenders of us all. But there must be more. You are my champion after all. I saved you from the darkened seas, where you would have been lost and forgotten forevermore. I need to know how badly I've chosen, before we proceed. Who else? Who else but your god would have seen something worth saving in you? So you understand. I must know all there is to know about my chosen. You must tell me everything. But wait, there's an easier way.
Tyr Sandelius steps forward, seizes your arm with surprising strength, and bites a chunk of flesh from your forearm. His face is thoughtful as he chews your flesh, savors it, and slowly swallows it down.
I was wrong about you. I chose well. You are my Godwoken. You will ascend. You will save us all. Let me show you.
Suddenly, a great energy enters the crown of your head and melts downwards, infusing every inch of you with a feeling of great power.
I bless the very water beneath your feet. Now you may wield that power for yourself. A first taste of things to come. For this is only the beginning. With these powers, you will have a choice. You can help our people, or you can dash them to ruin. Greatness doesn't care for class, accomplishment, or rank. It is a bit of kindling cultivated by those with intention. Those who intend to stand close to a spark. This I see within you, above all my many children. I hope I am not wrong. I will ask much of you in time, but for now, a simple goal. Escape the watch of those who would hinder you. Be free of those who would ensnare you. You are supremely important. More so than any loved one, any companion. Do not forget that.
Tis grimaces with disdain.
Listen closely to what I tell you now. The other gods have sought their champions too. If they succeed, our very existence as elves in this great realm may be threatened.
He gestures dismissively over the great battle below, where God assaults God in ceaseless violence.
Fools cause great wars, and great people must follow them into the muck. That is where we find ourselves now, fighting for a place upon a throne of violence. But we mustn't fail, even at this. To fail is to cease to be. I have seen the very soul of you. I have partaken of your flesh. I have assimilated your being into my own. I believe in you.
Sabine is pensively tracing a new name on her arm. Gilded letters in an ancient alphabet.
Sure, it's nothing really. My own name. A little gift from Tis. Leave it to a god to be overly dramatic. Must be a celestial party game. Or maybe he wanted to teach me a lesson. If the latter, he has much to learn.
Blessed branches, we've returned. Every second we spent in that hellish place was a second the great acorn drew closer. Interesting. You thought it was interesting, Quercus. Do you know what's interesting? Watching an entire world be strangled by the roots of doom, seeing the giant races fall like leaves in frost, hearing the screams of... I don't know what you're talking about. I am perfectly calm. Anyway, as interesting as that cold hellscape might have been, it does not solve our problem. We are here to stop the great acorn, not hide from it. It's already helping more than it knows, Quercus. The fate of the world depends on our ability to research a spell to protect Rivellon. We need to travel across the land, gathering clues, experimenting with different magics, and come up with a spell to shield Rivellon from its doom. Of course, for us to do that, we must avoid being eaten by the servants of the Great Acorn. And that is where our big, foolhardy shield comes in. Grand Nut! It's the Great Acorn! Quercus! Quercus! Savage the wretched giant for its blasphemy! No! I am not going to share our magic with it. I don't care how much you like it, Quercus. Very well, I cannot give it magic, but I can teach it how to forge one spell, if it will keep you happy. One!
The squirrel reaches out, touching your foot with a delicate paw, and you feel your mind open. You can see the forces of magic and see how to combine them in a new way.
There. Maybe now your pet will have a fighting chance. Yes, you're welcome. But can we please get on and save the world now?
deplorable surrounding for an agreeable conversation, but go ahead. Indeed, Sendilius, if I'm not mistaken. Always was rather the slow sibling in the Pantheon, wasn't he? Quite so. I suppose you too met with somewhat of a disappointment. For we do have to wonder, can a god be called a god still, if they have to plead with another to assume the powers they seem to have lost? Of course I did. Only I'm not foolish enough to let it buy my loyalty.
I must say, I was hoping to enjoy a smug. Lacking skin may make me a target for mortals, but however, they are infuriating when they get in one's... Indeed, so I gathered from your earlier prattling. I also met... someone. Oh, nothing is wrong. Simply... unexpected. The person I met was without doubt a god. At least by your standards. When I wore flesh, I knew her as the Lady Armadia. She was one of the 7 lords that served our king. Oh no, they're quite gone. The 7 seem to be all that remains. And they... well, I'm not sure what they are. Not quite gods, but not quite eternals. No, they are something else entirely. Naturally, they acted as any lords would. They bowed to their king and sneered at their lessers. And there was an awful lot of sneering, even back then. One can only imagine how much there is now. Yes, well, if you are quite finished wasting my time, I believe we have some business to get on with. What would I do? Oh, dear heart, it is not a question of would. It is a question of what will I do. It is only fitting, after all. You worshipped the Eternals as gods. Why not follow one as divine? The Lady Armadia has laid out the plight of the world and begged me to help fix it. It is a grave responsibility, but one that I gladly accept. Yes, and how is that working out, I wonder? Perhaps if your precious Lucian had been a little less mortal, you would still have a divine, and the Voidwoken would not be trying to chew on my bones. Honestly. You turn your back for just a few millennia, and the world goes to stink.
The air out here's a damn sight better than in Fort Joy, eh? Me too. A god I don't believe in told me things about myself I don't believe. Yeah.
Ifan chuckles and raps his knuckles against the side of your skull, hard enough to knock your head sideways.
Maybe so. Whatever we believe, we still need to live in the here and now. So, let's get back to work.
Ifan tips his fingers to his temples and saunters ahead.
Speak if you wish to. You don't say. I too had the pleasure. Of course, when I say pleasure, I mean the distinct dishonor. Like death and desperation. I'd rather not talk about it. You're very kind, but I suppose you deserve to know. So it is, but I'll acquiesce. Just this once. The thing is, Sendilius, the Old Father, the Golden Leaf, he wants me to become the next divine.
Her eyes fix on some unseen thing of darkness.
Beware of gods bearing gifts. Divinity. And yet, he treated me exactly. His was an exercise in power. Brutal, like all true power is. His was a lesson, meant to discipline, not to edify. Why would I obey such a god? How clueless you do sound.
Out of the frying pan and into... Is that so? Look, I don't know where you've been and what you saw. But I believe you believe it. And I guess that's what matters, yeah?
I'd say we should stop to talk, but sure thing, Chief. What's up? One of the gods? Really? Well, look at you go. What did they say? One of the gods said that.
Losa huffs on her fingernails and buffs them on her tunic, smirking.
Nice.
Her face cracks into a mischievous smile. She capers around you, bouncing from one foot to the next, chanting.
You like me, you really, really like me.
She stops suddenly, goes rigid, then relaxes, smiles broadly, and leans over to whisper in your ear.
Psst. I like you too.